I have not copped out of doing this. I just had an incredibly difficult week, and my demeanor right now doesn't even begin to convey the place I'm at in terms of the bomb that was dropped on me yesterday evening, Saturday evening. So I couldn't do anything about it. I can't do anything about it until tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen going forward. But I'm midweek. I'm sorry. I'm scattered because my mind's not there. My mind's not there. I tried to make an update video a couple of days ago, and it's a good thing I didn't, because what has come up has completely changed everything in not a good way. I thought I was in a bad place when I started. If this is, and I can't see any other way it could be, if it is the way it is, and I'll explain in a little bit, I don't know how to go forward. I don't know how to do something as, I don't know, that requires trying to discover and recover your creative self. I don't know how to continue to have motivation to keep going. After my week 5 wrap up from the garden last week, the first thing that happened as I was walking home, fully present, taking in the gorgeous day, aware of my surroundings, in other words, in a state where things like this don't usually happen, I took a spill and I fell and I hurt myself pretty badly all over, particularly my left knee and my left shoulder. Although I didn't know about my shoulder at the time. My left knee was all bloodied up and swollen. So was my right palm. My left palm was pretty scraped up, but not as bad. I didn't realize how badly my left hand had been hurt, because it turns out, I guess, it bore all the brunt of my falling on my left side, because apparently somehow my hip and shoulder also slammed on the ground. These things became evident. I'm sorry, and every time I turn on the camera, I get phlegmy, I have to sneeze. After I cleaned myself up, I started to feel the pain in my hip, the pain in my shoulder. I noticed a weird lump in my shoulder. So I'm 5 minutes away from urgent care, but I don't have a car anymore, so I couldn't get there. I need rides, but I only have 3 people to ask for rides from, and they weren't available. My first chance to get to the ER was Tuesday, and they did not give me an x-ray. I didn't go to my 5 minutes away ER because their x-ray technician was out sick. I had the good sense to call before, because my ride had a very limited amount of time, and I was trying to schedule, to make sure that they knew and please help me, but the radiologist was out sick, and the kind of sick that would take a few days. So we went to another one, and they didn't feel it necessary to give me any x-rays. They just did a bunch of things to my hand, my arms. They kind of looked at my knee. They agreed that, oh yeah, that looks weird. If it gets infected, come back. They gave me a tetanus shot, or the Tdap shot, which I needed. And they told me, you're fine, you're just fine. If you had a fracture, you would have known it, which is what I thought, because I was familiar with the pain of the fracture of my toe on my left side. And that was a hairline fracture, and it was excruciating. So in that way, I felt lucky. Like, that was a pretty big spill. I was down on the floor for a while. And I felt like I was in the twilight zone, because people around here are not like that, but people were walking around me, not even asking if I was okay, let alone asking if I needed help. So when I finally got over the shocking initial pain, I slowly, got myself up, and it was a little bit hard to drag myself over to the nearby bench, and I happened to carry Band-Aids. I put some Band-Aids on, and I went home, cleaned myself up, put triple ointment on, and then I felt the other pains. I feel like I'm repeating myself. I've made this video several times and it got too long, so I trashed it. So sorry if I'm repeating myself. Also, sorry if I'm sniffling. I notice when I watch back my videos that I do this weird sniffling, and I have problems with my sinuses, so I don't know. I have to be more aware of things, and that's what this is good for. But anyway, that was the least of my concerns, except for the fact that the scrape did get infected. I happen to have ointment at home, prescription. I've been putting it on. Today's day 9, and it was hurting, and it felt weird, and like it had scabbed over, but the scab was weird color, and there was redness around it, and it had every sign of being infected. So I got a ride to my preferred urgent care. But before that, I need to say that I had gone the next day after going to the urgent care the first time and them not x-raying me. I went to my physiatrist, which I have scheduled every 3 months, because after lumpectomies, after they remove lymph nodes, after you have lymph nodes removed, and they removed 5 lymph nodes, which I was told they were going to remove 1 to 3 to minimize, if not negate, the risk of lymphedema. But then it became 5 lymph nodes, and wait till you hear how they didn't even get the right one and left that in. So I just told you. But anyway, this is how I found out. Mind you, I thought I just celebrated my 1-year cancer-free anniversary as of the end of April. So anyway, I told him about what happened, and that I went, and they said that there was nothing wrong. And he looked at my shoulder, and he's like, "Ooh, there's a bruise there." He's like, "They didn't x-ray you?" And he was absolutely, he said, "I'm shocked." He's like, "You went there for x-rays. Like, how did they let you leave without x-raying you?" He's like, no. You need x-rays. So he wrote me up 2 scripts for a full shoulder and 3 views of my knee. I went to the center I go to, where I go for most things in this network, that I'm there because I went through the cancer treatment there, and that's where most of my doctors are. And anyway, suffice it to say, it's like this major place, and they have other things in there. So they x-rayed me, and they were so cool to send me the results immediately last night. They had an appointment for me on Saturday. Great, because I had also been called for them to schedule me for June 30th to remove my chemo port, which, by the way, isn't connected to my aorta like I've been saying in my videos. That sounds so stupid, and I know it's not connected to my aorta, but I have like chemo brain or hormone blocker brain or a combination of both. And sometimes I can't remember the phrase that I'm looking for. The word is like at the tip of my brain, and it's happening too often. So I wanted this removed right away. My oncologist wanted to leave it in for 3 years because the tumor they took out was very invasive. The chemo had shrunk it a lot, but it was still cancerous. That cancer had metastasized to my lymph node, and my lymph node that had been marked with a biopsy, click with a clip, so that they could see which one to take out. Everything had been marked with clips, except for the very obvious tumor. And then before the operation, they also put in what's called mag seeds, which are like magnetic little seeds, which they go over with like, I don't know, some kind of probe so that they know exactly what to take out. But they misplaced a seed off like by a centimeter. They couldn't even see it. So they put in the instructions to make sure to scoop out like an extra 2 centimeters or whatever to get both clips out. Anyway, they scooped out 5 nodes and left the one with the clip in it, not the mag seed, the clip, the one that after they placed it in another facility, not these people, another facility, before I started going to them, after being confirmed as having cancer in both breasts and in my lymph nodes, one lymph node. They put a clip and then did another 3D mammogram and ultrasound to make sure it was in the right place. So anyway, that's still in my body. They pulled out those 5 lymph nodes, and in the pathology report, which I read, it said that there was no cancer to be found. And I was like, well, that's miraculous. But I kind of still feel like in the same spot. I feel, what is this lump? Like, is that like scar tissue or something? Like, I feel a hard lump in that place. It's much smaller, but I feel it. I mean, my questions about the pathology, asking why they didn't biopsy that area but chose to biopsy like regular breast tissue. Like, why not my axillary tissue? Why not the place with the actual tumor? They biopsied the tumor, and they didn't have answers for me, only that they made a mistake in the way they wrote it, and they did biopsy that area. It's just they wrote the wrong thing. And this was nothing. Don't worry about that. That's nothing. I had a 6-month scan, 3D mammogram, followed by an ultrasound, read by the director of the center. I looked at it last night in hopes of finding the lymph node and seeing that that was clear at the time. But they did not scan my axillary area. So I have had that cancerous lymph node in my body since last April. They never removed it. They ignored all of my trepidations about the wrongness of what I was seeing in the report and what I felt. All my questions, getting mad at me for asking the same things over and over, for not trusting the doctors to know what they're doing. And so in the shoulder x-ray, it showed the shoulder was fine, the knee was fine, which I would have been relieved. But there's a metal locational clip in the axillary area. So that means that lymph node is still in there, which means it's been in there for over a year, which means I was never cancer-free, which means it may have metastasized. I did have a month of radiation after that. It did shrink a lot, and I've been on hormone blockers after the radiation. But I haven't been so, like, I can't afford food, right? So I've been eating stuff that's like anti-cancer diet. Now that I think about it, I've been feeding this cancer. I can't tell you like what a blow this is and how I don't know how to move forward from here. And if I thought that when I started this whole project, which was meant to be me rising up from rock bottom, feeling hopeless, and giving it all up to God and or the universe or cosmic intelligence or whatever, and clearing my head and being open to opportunities that I might not have been seeing and all that, and just starting with the artist's way, but with full intentions of adding other things in. The goal was for me to be like a guinea pig of sorts, to see if like these ways, these other ways, these non-traditional ways really did work. Like if you really gave up, like I don't even know what that feels like, honestly. The first month I really felt like I was doing great, and I felt like I was getting back there when I did the wrap up for week 5. But then after the fall and the extended ordeal with that, because the cut is infected, and because I found out today when I went back there, and he didn't like the looks of it, and they gave me another 3 x-rays. I just got those same 3 shots yesterday, those x-ray views. But he said, well, they didn't check for if there's any foreign material stuck in the scrape. He's like, you have a lot of pain there when I touch it. You fell on concrete. There might be like little pieces of gravel in there. He said he would feel much. I mean, this is an urgent care, and the other place is the cancer center. So the urgent care has better care than this massive place that purports to be better than Mount Sinai and even Columbia Presbyterian. A $1 billion place with this clinic that takes people who don't have the good insurance. So, I mean, they have state-of-the-art machinery, great doctors, mostly. My surgeon, by all semblances, he's a great doctor. But he wasn't a great doctor with me, not in the way he treated me, and not in the way he treats me in the follow-ups. And I stopped going to the follow-ups because 3 to 5 minutes is completely inadequate. And if I'm not allowed to ask questions, well then what am I coming here for? And especially because I brought this up and I brought the pathology report up and I was brushed off. But now I have to deal with them tomorrow, and they're extremely difficult to get through to. I don't even know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. But we're talking about if I've had cancer, if they left the cancer in, and it's marked. It is marked. And the pathology report shows the other coils they placed in my left breast came out, but they don't show this one. That's not there. So, I mean, they said they got clear margins, 2 centimeters, blah, blah, blah. But from where? Because that's still in there. And that was the main one. It wasn't the misplaced seed. If they took out what was at the misplaced seed and like the wrong way, I don't know. I don't know. What I'm trying to say is, right now my mind is in a place where, first of all, the way the week started off, it was already bad enough because my toe was just starting to heal, the fracture in my toe. And I was looking forward to getting out more and walking and getting my fitness level up, since I'm going to have to be doing a lot of walking. And then I fell. So again, no walking. Then this infection the whole week. Like, oh my God, I've been so persistent with it, with the ointment, and it didn't do a thing. It's just gotten worse and worse. Now I'm on the oral antibiotics. There was no gravel in there, thank God. So he gave me the antibiotics. I started taking them right away. I took 1 of 2 from today, so I'm praying that this does the trick. But then, did I say they scheduled to remove my port? Yeah, I did, because, yeah. So now, do I get my port removed? I'm going to need them to scan me. I gotta know what's going on in there. They got to look at this. Either way, they're going to take away my insurance. It ends at the end of August, and with the way things are right now, it's looking like 99.9% sure that I will be left without insurance, and I'm on medications that I can't just abruptly stop. And also, I'm on this cancer medicine that's I'm supposed to be on it for a decade, and I'm trying to get myself back up on my feet, but I'm less able to right now than ever. The having no transportation has completely brought me to my knees. I'm no longer able to take care of myself. I'm completely reliant on help from only 3 people, or 3 sets of people. 2.5 sets, technically. And they're so busy. Like, and I'm like putting too much on them. I can't go grocery shopping. I can't go get my medications from the drugstore. I need to do laundry. I need to get the place ready. They have nothing to do with that. But I have to get... I'm just so confused, because do I get this... I have to get the port out because I can't maintain it without insurance. It has to be flushed every 6 weeks. If I lose my insurance, there will be no way for me to, number one, get the medical rides to the facility. Number 2, to pay to have them flush it with the saline and whatever else bills. So it's got to come out no matter what, whether I still have cancer or not. It's got to come out, because either way, I'm not going to be able to treat myself. So I don't know what I'm looking at here, but this has thrown me completely off. So this is why, I hadn't gotten a chance to do a thing for chapter 6, aside from read the chapter and do halfway through the chapter exercises, but not the tasks, not the artist date. I said I was going to read this book. I'm reading it, but it's hardly an artist date. My mind is not there. And I just don't know what to do. I don't know how to move forward. I'm just stunned. And I feel like at the same time, like, now more than ever, I need to surrender. And now more than ever, something like this is important. Not just the artist's way or anything, but like meditation, visualization, everything I can do to, I don't know. I feel so lost, and absent a miracle or help from outside, I'm not going to make it through. I am not going to make it because I had to put out a plea for help to get through June when they scheduled me for I didn't have the money to get through June, and I was like, what can I do? How can I make some money fast? But I haven't been able to find ways, not without transportation and not without having the money to buy materials in order to make stuff, not without having a computer, not without having a proper phone. This is not even on high definition. No printer. Like, I feel so lost. So this is my update for this week. I am obviously still on chapter 6. It's the middle of I keep wanting to apologize for the way I speak. When I listen back to myself, I'm like, why am I speaking like that? It's wild how watching yourself on camera brings things to your attention. And the good thing is it brings things to your attention, and so hopefully you can work on changing them. But honestly, okay, recovering a sense of abundance. Right now, I'm just trying to recover a sense of the accessibility to continue living life. I don't know how I'm going to manage to do this, but I do have a strong internal pull in me that is telling me now more than ever, I need to put my mind on, spirit healing things, soul healing things, stress relieving things. I don't know 100% sure what the deal is yet. It doesn't look good. It's a big possibility. It's not a big possibility, but there is a possibility that the chemo did wipe out the cancer in my lymph node, or if it didn't completely, then the month of radiation did. And then the hormone blockers I'm taking maybe are doing their work. But thinking that it was all out of my body, there were a couple of weeks here and there where I stopped taking it because I was going through other things, and I was like, I don't know if I can deal with this right now, and let me just put this off. Now I regret doing that. I don't know if it even matters. I don't know anything right now. I have to find out this week. And so the month of June is completely swallowed up. I'm looking at my calendar, which I had already made appointments that I needed to make very badly in person when I went to see my heart doctor on Monday, which was another stressful situation. The notes. Nobody hears the words that are coming out of my mouth as they're coming out of my mouth, the doctors. The things they write in the notes, I'm like, how in the hell did they interpret what I said like that? And it makes me look like I'm mental. And yes, I could use therapy for sure. And I've been trying to get it, but can't find anyone who takes my insurance. But not the way he made it look with what he wrote. So I have to deal with that. And I'm going out of my mind right now with stress. And I don't know how to calm myself down. I don't know how to concentrate on anything right now. It's just too much. I'm going to see what I can do about sticking to chapter 6 for however long it takes me. I will pop in for check-ins. I'll let you know what happens when I do find out what's going on. If anyone's listening, I need support so badly. I have no one. I have no one. And I'm carrying all this by myself. I've been carrying it all by myself. And I feel like I'm going to break. The only reason I'm here still is because my mother needs me, because she relies on me for everything. Yes, I want to be alive. There's so many things I want to do. I have so many hopes, dreams, and wishes. I have so many inspirations. But I have no hope. There's all walls around me. So unless I can get help, unless I can get a miracle, I just don't see how. All the doors are closed, and more keep closing. And my trying to shift my mindset, because that's what this whole thing is about, deprogramming all of the negativity, but without being like toxically positive, with doing the shadow work, doing whatever I have to do to really get myself right within, so that I can, as much as personally possible, get myself in a better place, and hopefully find help you know what? I'm going to lose my insurance. So, all hope is gone. All hope is gone.